to endlessly flagellate themselves. They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them.
Well, if he's right, then why didn't people vote for the former prosecutor who actually had policy plans to help the working class?
Stop saying that Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma. Sorry. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
It's his full-time job, and his latest target, none other than Whoopi Goldberg. Now, let's be real, the actress kind of had it coming, given her ever-growing portfolio of cringe statements since 2022. Maher didn't just criticize her, he verbally disassembled her, piece by piece, in a takedown so brutal it left Whoopi scrambling for cover like a cartoon character dodging anvils. So, what exactly did Goldberg say this time to earn Maher's unfiltered wrath? And how did his clapback manage to leave the woke mob devastated? Don't worry, we've got all the juicy details right here. Buckle up, folks. This isn't just a bumpy ride. It's a roller coaster with no seat belt.
Past this endless, unforgiving, zero-tolerance mindset bent on punishing and disappearing anyone caught saying the wrong thing. The right response to speech you don't like is more...
Whoopi Goldberg has poked the bear, and now she's dealing with the claws of brutal truth. And oh, it's not pretty. Remember our last video where Bill Maher shredded Sunny Hostin for trying to pull a fast one by putting words in his mouth? Well, turns out the View crew isn't taking the L quietly. This time it's Whoopi Goldberg stepping up, apparently on a revenge mission to deliver their pound of flesh. Looks like Sunny couldn't handle the heat Maher brought, so she called in the cavalry. Whoopi Goldberg herself. And boy, did she come in hot, ready to rumble like a contestant in a reality show nobody asked.
To indulge rich white people's need to endlessly flagellate themselves. They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them.
Well, if he's right, then why didn't people vote for the former prosecutor who actually had policy plans to help the working class?
Whoopi Goldberg, flipping through the woke playbook like it's her Bible. When your argument's sinking faster than the Titanic, whip up a straw man and go on the attack. Bill Maher was making a clear point about Black Americans wanting better jobs, a stronger economy, and responsible policing. Simple enough, right? But here comes Whoopi rambling about voting for a former prosecutor with plans for the working class. Does that connect? Nope. Do you see the logic? Of course not, because there isn't any. It's like she's playing darts blindfolded, hoping something sticks. Spoiler alert, it doesn't, and Bill Maher didn't let it slide.
Statues of Lincoln and get rid of the police. Just, no. It's not that I've gotten old, it's that your ideas are stupid.
Didn't mince any words there. He pointed out that Whoopi's ideas are probably nonsensical, which is typical of The View. The View has become the political talk show equivalent of a train wreck. Painful to watch, yet somehow impossible to look away from. Sure, it's known for its controversial and, let's face it, questionable takes on just about everything. But Sunny Hostin and Whoopi Goldberg managed to elevate the chaos to new heights with their utterly outrageous commentary. Remember that time Charlemagne the God braved the set as a guest? You could practically see him wondering if he'd stumbled into some sort of alternate reality.
It's valid because, Democrats stand on this moral high ground all the time and, they act so self-righteous. The reality is he didn't have to say anything in regards to, whether or not, his son wanted to be pardoned. He could have said, hey, man, I'm not focused on that.
President Joe Biden, the self-proclaimed champion of no one being above the law, just pardoned his son Hunter Biden after, surprise, surprise, he was found guilty of corruption and other related offenses. Talk about family values, right? This move has predictably set off a firestorm of criticism. After all, how do you square the whole no one is above the law shtick when your son gets a free pass? It's almost like saying justice is blind. Unless you're a Biden. Hunter's guilt was as obvious as a toddler caught with cookie crumbs on his face. Yet somehow accountability just didn't make it onto the family calendar. And that was Charlemagne's point. If the woke mob claimed no one was above the law, then they should live by their own standards. Simple, right? Well, Whoopi thought otherwise.
For a second.
Uh-oh.
Only because you don't know that it was a lie. We don't know why he changed
You really think he just changed his mind over Thanksgiving weekend all of a
No,
sudden?
I'm going to tell you what I think.
Okay.
I I think he changed his mind because he got sick of watching everybody else.
You have it. Another eye-roll-inducing gem from the queen of cringe herself, Whoopi Goldberg. This time, Whoopi actually claimed that President Biden didn't lie when he said no one was above the law. Really, Whoopi? Because there's a mountain of evidence. Video, audio, and probably even cave paintings, proving he said exactly that. Tell a blatant lie is like watching someone confidently argue the sky isn't blue while standing under a cloudless sky. At this point, Whoopi's mental gymnastics could qualify her for the Olympics, but even then, she'd probably trip over her own logic. You could even see the shock on Charlemagne's face at Whoopi's statements. But she didn't stop there. She claimed it is possible Biden changed his mind because he was sick and tired of watching everybody get over him. Charlemagne was stunned into silence.
Just gonna follow the straight and narrow always, because that's what's expected of Democrats.
But that's their fault. They're the ones that
They're
the ones that go out there and they stand on this moral high ground. They don't have to do.
The problem with the woke mob is they only call out wrongdoing when the offender isn't part of their exclusive little club. But when the guilty party is one of their own, suddenly the outrage turns into a whispered defense or a convenient case of selective amnesia. Of course, Whoopi and her ilk got away with their shenanigans because it was Charlemagne on the show. But when Bill Maher got wind of their antics, he said, "Hold my beer," and he delivered one of the finest verbal eviscerations we've heard in a while.
To speak truth to power, and we always should, but you have completely lost the ability to speak truth to both.
Couldn't have said it better. The woke mob loves to parade themselves as the ultimate truth tellers and moral compasses, but their double standards were laid bare for the world to see this time. Hunter Biden was guilty, plain and simple, but because his dad happens to sit in the Oval Office, he gets to waltz away without so much as a slap on the wrist. If this were anyone else, the mob would be calling for their head on a silver platter. But when it's one of their own, suddenly justice takes a back seat to favoritism. It's hypocrisy at its finest, and Maher was right to call it out for what it truly is, a complete farce. The real question is, how much longer will Americans put up with this two-faced behavior? It's not just about Hunter. It's about a system that bends over backward for the powerful while throwing the book at everyone else. Maher's takedown wasn't just timely. It was a wake-up call for anyone still clinging to the illusion of fairness. But here's where it all gets interesting. Maher opined that the woke mob often got help from mainstream media.
Appropriate to bury the Hunter Biden.
You're talking about the press doing that?
He's saying that's what they did, and that is what they did. They buried the Hunter Biden story before the election because they were like, we can't risk having the election thrown to Trump. We'll tell them after the election.
And we know for a fact that that's what they did?
Of course. You don't
but
follow
I mean,
this.
saying you know for a fact that that's what they did. I don't know what they did.
I know, because you only watch MSNBC.
Bent over backward to downplay the Hunter Biden scandal, working overtime to shield President Biden and derail Trump's re-election bid. Key outlets dismissed the story as Russian disinformation, despite mounting evidence while censoring dissenting voices. Whoopi Goldberg eagerly joined the chorus, scoffing at the legitimacy of the allegations on The View, but Maher wasn't having it. He called her out for playing defense instead of seeking truth, dismantling her excuse